record. Okay, so for tonight's training, we're actually just going to go over, in essence, finding your niche and inviting. So basically who you're going to invite to, or like who you're going to send your invites to. So I believe I actually sent you a spreadsheet, not a spreadsheet, but a worksheet of how to identify your niche. So it's pretty much going over that aspect of it. So
yeah, that's the avatar thing I have, right?
That is correct. So the first thing is you need to know your clients' desires and their pain points. So what do your clients or your potential customers really want to get out of the whole experience with you? Like, what kind of transformation do they want to go through? Is it physical? Is it mental? Or say if somebody actually wants to be a coach, is it financially? And what has failed them before in the past? Those are questions you might want to ask them. And then what do they currently lack now that's preventing them from actually hitting their goals? So one of the things I normally like to share, like you know my story, I share, I packed on a bunch of weight, being depressed, emotionally eating, and then packed on a ton of weight when I was pregnant with Joe. And my way of actually finding my happy spot again was actually becoming a coach and being held accountable for something. And it actually helped me to regain a level-headed mindset versus just snapping all the time. And it's actually helping to rebuild my marriage. So I always share that because it shows a progression of not only my physical appearance, but also how it's helped me mentally to actually deal with everything, especially as a military spouse. We move a lot and then having to deal with our significant others always being gone. Mm-hmm. So make sure that you ask your potential customers or your potential coaches, what kind of transformation do they truly want? And then take notes on that. So it's pretty much doing an interview to ask them basically who they are.
Okay. And at what point do you typically ask this? Like, I mean, right now I'm getting a whole lot of like, not much in the way of people reaching out to me. Mm-hmm. I've had some that reach out to me and it's really clear they just want to know about the DVDs or the Shakeology. But like, at what point are you sending someone these questions? Like,
well, I actually start, like, once a person starts to reach out to me, asking me, like, what am I doing? That's where I make it an opportunity to ask them, like, what are they truly trying to get out of it? Like, yes, they can ask you about a particular program, but what do they want to accomplish by doing that program?
Okay.
Because you never know, like, what they want to accomplish may not be satisfied with that program. There may be a different program that might better fit their needs or better fit the program of their life.
Okay.
So you want to ask them those questions because you don't want to just throw something on them and then they're like, oh my God, this doesn't work. So, and then they just jump ship.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so here are the top, what are the top 5 results clients want to achieve by working with you? Is it weight loss? Is it adopting a healthier lifestyle? Is it becoming an inspiration for their community? Is it confidence? Is it regaining a piece of themselves that was once lost? And I say try to think of the 5 results that you want your clients to actually achieve by working with you as an individual and as a coach, or even as if you have a potential coach coming on board. Like, what do you want those potential results to be for that person? Okay. Because if it's about weight loss, then just tackle that aspect of it. If it's about overall a healthier lifestyle, then you're going to start looking at nutrition. You're going to start looking at the workouts. Then you're going to really start talking to them about the accountability groups, because that's helped not only myself, but it's helped you also to stay accountable for our goals. Or do they want to break the cycle within their families and their communities of being obese or being completely overweight, and they want to serve as an inspiration for somebody else?
Right. Okay.
Okay. So who is your client avatar? So this is the worksheet that I sent you yesterday. So you want to be able to think about who is your ideal customer. You want to think about what their potential goals are. What are their actual values? What are some of their current challenges or past challenges that they've encountered? And what are their pain points? What I mean by pain points is what keeps them up at night? What has them in this funk of I just can't get right type attitude? Like for me, it was I ballooned up to almost a size 10, and that is way too big for somebody my height. That really bothered me, or the fact that I felt so self-conscious going out with my husband, and he's this example of health, and I look like Oompa Loompa over here. That ain't cute. So that kept me up at night, and the fact that I just lost my grandmother, and I didn't want to be another statistic of heart disease, diabetes, or being overweight and not being around for my child. So think about some of the pain points that some of your ideal customers or clients might come across. And then another thing you want to ask about is like, what are their objections or their role in the buying process? I know a lot of people, is the money aspect of it. Like, well, I can't afford $140 for a challenge pack. That is primarily the objection, but then you have to think about it. If they were truly committed to living a healthier lifestyle, they would make the necessary adjustments in order to have that lifestyle. Like, for example, I knew I couldn't afford Shakeology all by itself when I initially started, and then I took a real deep look at what the hell I was wasting my money on. Like Starbucks, I spent almost $200 every single month on Starbucks, and that is ridiculous. And all it was doing was adding calories and inches to my waistline. It wasn't benefiting me none. Or it could be, well, I don't have the time to work out. Who doesn't have 30 minutes out of a day to work out? I'm like, if that means you have to pick a program that your kids can do with you, that's great, because then you're getting them active too. Or is, well, my husband doesn't truly think I can really do it, or he doesn't support me. Give that woman or that man, if their spouse is saying no, they can't do it, give them that push to say, you know what, let's prove them wrong and show them that yes, you can do it, because you have a support system that's not going to let you fail. Because Ralph was a big skeptic from the very beginning of, okay, we'll see if this works. And then when he came home from deployment, he was like, okay, I'm going to shut the hell up and I'm going to get on board. Yeah, because he wanted me to do his program of a bunch of weightlifting, but I was like, I'm not going to be a running back. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be built like a football player. I'm small, I'm petite. Let me do what actually works for me. And I found the program that worked for me as a new mother, as a wife, as my new role as a military spouse. And then another thing you want to think about is like, think about their physical characteristics. Like, what is their age? What is their gender? What is their marital status? Do they have children? Do they not have children? Where is their location? Think about what they want their ideal body to look like if they were to just do a challenge group with you, or take it a step further and they want to become a full-blown coach. Okay. And those are all things you need to actually write down and keep in your area of where you're going to work, so you can always have a point of reference of who you're going to post to. Okay. And the reason I say that of who you're going to post to, because you want to use words or use something that's going to trigger an emotion in that particular individual. Because if your client avatar is you, what actually made you say, you know what, I need to do this?
Right. And I'm wondering if in the beginning I was more focused on kind of what I loved about it, and I kind of need to figure out how to get back to like those types of posts.
Yes.
That's when I will have to admit, I was getting a lot more people talking to me about it then than I am now. Although I am getting still a lot of support, it's just a lot of support with no real buy-in, I guess.
Yeah. So like you just identified one of your key points right there. Talk about what made you fall in love with this aspect of Team Beachbody. What made you fall in love with the atmosphere of a challenge group versus having to leave your house, go to another location, have all this stuff pushed down your throat, and then you spend way more money than you intended to spend. So talk about stuff like that. Like, try to identify elements of your post that's going to trigger those emotions in a particular person. Like, okay. I try to post about being healthier for your children. I try to post about being healthier for your family, or serving as an inspiration for your community, because let's be real, we're dying off. And it's not because our lack of willingness to want to do it, but it's everything around us that's setting us up to fail, versus actually surrounding yourself with like-minded people.
Right.
So that takes us into inviting 101. So inviting 101 pretty much means sharing you and sharing your story. That does not mean be cheesy, does not mean be salesy or push something down somebody's throat. People don't buy into a product, they buy into the person. Mm-hmm. Like, and I know we hear that all the time. Like, people are not going to buy into a product. Yes, you are a product of the product, but they're going to buy into you first because they have this connection, emotional connection to you and to your story and your struggles, your triumphs, your trials, your tribulations, like what made you just really do it. Mm-hmm. So pretty much sharing you and sharing your story. So reiterating, sharing your struggles, sharing your challenges, sharing your goals. You can even share your plans. Like, for a coach, if you're trying to attract that particular coach to join your team, why not share your plans with everybody, saying, hey, I'm trying to build a team who is ready to go out there and help their community become healthier, who is ready to be held accountable for not only their own health, but also help those around them or hold them accountable for their health as well. Mm-hmm. And a good way to actually attract people is like, share your ideal version of you. Like, we're all a work in progress. But if you share that aspect of it, of how you're gradually working towards your ideal you, somebody is going to click in somebody and like, okay, maybe I really can do this. And they're going to start asking questions.
Okay.
And a prime example today is I actually spoke to 2 mothers via Facebook Messenger, and they're like, I saw your video yesterday about you being sick and the health scare that you recently had and currently going through. And that scared the living hell out of me, because I want to be around for my children. And I see you working out every single day, and I see you sharing your meal prep, but you still had a health scare. And you admitted that you kind of fell off the wagon during the holiday weekend, but you're going to get back on, and you have a group that's going to hold you accountable to that. And you asked us to do so. And because I shared that video, those people reached out to me. Like, I actually had one woman actually call me and say, I can't take it no more. What do I have to do?
Right.
And with that particular individual, I actually sent her a few links for her to check out her options. And I told her, I'll follow back up with you tomorrow so we can set up some time to talk about each one of these in detail. So we pick the appropriate program to fit the program of your life, because I don't want you to fail.
Okay.
Okay, so the inviting process, step 1. So the initial invite, so that's your warm market, meaning i.e. your friends and your family. My best suggestion that I would make to you, if you haven't already done this yet, try to make a list of 50 to 100 people that you know, not people who are just going to be interested, but of people you know that you could potentially reach out to.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because that's going to be your warm market, and you never know. It could be 5 people on that list of 100 that's like, okay, I've been meaning to reach out to you, but I'm glad you reached out to me in the beginning. And an example you can put is, hey, such and such, I don't know if you've been following me lately on social media, but I've been working with a group of supportive people that have been holding me accountable towards my health goals. And I was wondering if you can help me. I'm looking for 5 people who want to start losing weight over the next 21 days. Do you know anybody who might be interested? Versus pushing something down their throat and saying, I want you. You're asking them for help, and then it's actually going to start triggering off questions in their head like, wait a minute, I might actually be interested, but I also might know somebody else too. And then they're going to start asking you some questions about it.
Okay.
Process 2. So this is bridging to the interview.
What's
So
the wrong way to do that, Jazz? Because the reason I ask that is because I'm wondering if me hitting people up, asking if they want to join the challenge group is like shoving the challenge group down their throat a little bit.
it may be. So you could just switch it up a little bit saying, hey, I know we didn't, I know you weren't interested before, but do you know of somebody who might be interested? Because I'm truly trying to help other people become healthier, but I also need those individuals to help me with my goals too.
Okay.
And the reason I say that because it takes the pressure off of them. And then they might take a step back like, oh, she's really serious about going out to help people versus, oh, you're looking for a sale.
Yeah, see, I'm wondering if I'm coming off like I'm trying to sell stuff.
Yeah, like I understand how some people might come off, like may perceive that, but when it's all said and done, if you're really doing it for the right reasons, which I know that you are, you're really about helping people. And like myself, I'm really about helping people. It's just a matter of how people perceive it or receive it. Yeah, sorry. So bridging into the interview, because you're going to ask them questions. So if they ask you about the price, you might want to just talk to them. Like, it really depends on what your wants and your needs are. Like, if they have, like, ask them a few questions to get a better understanding of what their needs are. So it could be, I just need something that's a quick workout. What do you have for me? Or ask them what their current fitness level is. Or you can even ask them, like, what is your actual commitment to actually getting this done? Mm-hmm. Because some people only want to commit for 21 days, and then some people might want to actually do a full 60 days or do a full 90 days. But you have to ask those questions to fully understand what they really want from you as a coach and how you can better assist them. Now, if they want more information, great. Give them as much information that they can tolerate so they can be able to make an educated decision. So that's when you want to give them options and explain to them the different options. Like, you have 21-day fix. It's a 21-day program. It introduces people to the portion control color-coded system, and all of the workouts are only 30 minutes a day. And it's by Adam Calabrese. You see her everywhere when it comes to the infomercials now. Or if you have that one person who doesn't like working out, but they like to dance, like, you jumped on board with Size. That could be Size, or Country Heat could be a program that you can introduce them to, especially if they have children and they have to work around that child's schedule or work around entertaining that child. Okay, so the interview. So what I call getting to know you. So these are examples of particular questions you can ask. Is like, is there a particular program you see or had questions about? Yeah, there's an end. Leave it alone. Don't clown me. You can ask them how long have they been struggling with their health and fitness, because it could be a repeated habit of they'll start something, stop something, start something, stop something. And it could just be a matter of not having the support or having the correct tools in order to succeed. Or you can ask this question like, in the past 5 years, what has actually prevented you from sticking to a plan? Or do you know of anybody else who might want to do this with you locally for the extra accountability, especially if that person's within their household, if they're trying to get their family healthier too?
Okay.
Because like, you see that Ralph, when he does get up, he works out with me. So he's my extra accountability. You're my extra accountability because we're in a challenge group together and we have that bond and we have that friendship and connection and we're like-minded. So we know we're going to hold each other accountable. Even though we're in different states, but still. And then objections, like everybody's story is price. Share one of your stories about how you overcame the price of a challenge pack, or dig a little deeper into telling them like you get all of these tools to succeed from the very beginning. You're not having to guess about nutrition. It's right there for you. You're not having to guess about portion control. You have the tools to measure everything out for you. You're not having to guess about what workout to do that day because your program comes with a calendar for you to follow daily. And then for those who like, well, I travel a lot. Well, you have Beachbody on demand, so where's your excuse? Mm-hmm. Or for those who like, well, I don't like shakes. I'm like, well, How about this? You can try it for 30 days. If you do not like it, you can actually send that entire empty bag back and you'll get your money back. That's the one thing about Beachbody. If they don't like it, they get a money back guarantee, but it has to be within the time frame of their particular program. Or it could be just a matter of exchanging the program for something different. So that's one thing that if people are like, well, I don't have the money, but am I just going to be stuck with it? It's like, no, you have a money back guarantee. But on the same token too, we all, within our group, we're going to hold you accountable. If that means you see our sweaty selfies every single day, you're going to see them. Because we want you to hold us accountable just as much as we're holding you accountable. Or if there's some people who are like, I don't know about working out in a group environment, you can tell them about how it's actually made a positive impact in your progress by working in a group environment.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 5 is options and follow-up. So after you discuss your potential client or your customer's goals, their wants and their needs, offer them at least 2 to 3 options. That means by providing them with the details of each program, that and then try to answer as many questions that they possibly have. And if you don't know the answer, just tell them, hold on for 1 second, let me do a little research. And you always have my phone number, or you can text message me and you can ask me a quick question and I can shoot the answer over to you. Or if you have the options and they're like, okay, well, let me look it over, give them about 48 hours to look over the information. And then send them follow-up messages, either an email or a text, but if possible, try to transfer the conversation over to email so you can be able to track that conversation better. If you don't already have that person in your phone as a text message. And the reason why I say email, because Google has Google Street, and you can actually move them through a pipeline so you can see at what stage that particular person's in.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? So it gives you a time frame of, okay, I sent this person out some information 2 days ago. Let me follow back up with them. And then if they're like, well, I'm going to pass this go around, then you could put them in a group that says, okay, follow up a month from now. Or put them in the free group that we just created this go around. So if you do have people that you want to put in this free group for the next 5 days, let me know so I can go ahead and send them over to you, or I'll just send you the group invite.
Yeah, I was going to say, I just added my people yesterday.
Okay, perfect. So do you have any questions in regards to what I just shared with you? Hey, everybody, I see y'all on their Peanuts phone.
Can you hear us?
Now I can. But do any one of you guys have any questions?
Not directly right now. We do have a group coming up Sunday.
Okay.
We found maybe a workout place that we might get. I'm not sure. But Sunday we're going to try to do a group thing and see how that turns out.
Okay, well, here's also an idea you might want to look at. If you log into your Team Beachbody account, you have the options of getting your certifications for the different programs. Like, for example, myself, I actually have the size certification. So you can actually go out into the community, have that certification, and go teach classes at gyms.
All right.
So if you
That's good stuff.
Yeah, so there's a certification for size, P90X, Insanity, and there's also now a certification for Country Heat.
Great. That is good news right there. Really needed that.
And then with that certification, each month you actually get a set of classes that you can actually teach. So it's constantly changing, so you're not constantly doing the same thing over and over unless you choose to.
Okay.
And I'm going to check that out here in a few minutes.
Okay, I'm actually going to stop the recording because I'm going to post this in the team page either tonight or tomorrow.